Hi, my name is Jen. Welcome back to This and That Planning. These are my nails that I got done at Andromeda. Oh my goodness, guys, that should sound familiar to you. If you know, you know. That is our girl, Shan Plans. I was so excited to be able to have her do nails. I'm super excited. I am doing the week of September 5th through September 11th using Coffee Shop by Scribble Co. And I will also be using the foil bundle collaboration with Caress Press and Scribble Co. The coffee foil bundle that is in matte bronze. I swear I can talk. I promise. This is the freebie that came in the kit, and I added on the 15mm washi. So my nails, guys. My nail tech was actually quite good. She did a good job, but I increasingly was getting frustrated. So try to explain. She did a great job with designs and with actually like what she did on my nails. I was pretty happy. But I paid quite a bit of money all the time, and I'd seen her for over a year. When I would go to see her, she'd be behind, and it was increasing on the amount of times that she'd be behind. The last time that I went to go see her, she actually wasn't even painting somebody's nails. She was still filling them. And I make appointments so I don't have to wait. And it seems like she's like, oh, I got 5 minutes. Yes, I can squeeze you in. So when I show up, I'm waiting. And in the past, it didn't bother me so much. But now that I am commuting 3 hours every single day, it's an hour and a half to work and an hour and a half home from work. I have an appointment. We have a set time, and you're going to squeeze in a client, or allow a client to be so late that it pushes, other appointments back. I guess on one side, doctors do it all the time. I've waited in doctor's offices for a couple hours, actually. It was sad. Like, there was a specialist I had when I was a kid that we would sign in. Our whole family, my mom, my brother, and I, we would all go to eat. And then they would drop me back off to wait in the lobby. And they would take off and do grocery shopping, whatever. And I'd still be waiting in the lobby. Like, that's how bad it was for the wait time. But I guess the thing is like for nails, what have you, even hair, like beauty type appointments, there's a lot of places that just take walk-ins, and where I live, Las Vegas area, there's a lot of people that do designs. So yes, you need to find somebody who does designs if you like designs, which I do. But seriously though, like I make an appointment so I don't have to wait. And I make my appointment a month ahead of time. Whatever. And so again, the last time it was so late and I was kind of irritated that she hadn't even put color on her lady. She had her mom start my pedicure. Her mom, absolutely horrible. The last time her mom gave me a pedicure, she cut a cuticle on each foot and then sprayed it with acetone. I just about went through the roof. And her mom speaks no English. So this past time that I had went to her, her mom had boiling hot water. I'm very sensitive to hot. And she had water boiling hot. And she grabbed my foot and put it in. And I screamed. I don't normally scream, but I screamed and pulled my foot out immediately. So she had already had it over full. And they had the plug in and everything. So she just basically got it going where it bubbled to try to cool it off. And she did that for less than a minute and tried sticking my foot back in it. So I'm telling you, her mom is like the queen of torture. So first off, you have me being late. You have your mother torturing me to make up the fact that you're running late. It just is not good, especially as much money as I pay frequently. Because getting nail designs, they charge higher prices. It was ridiculous. And then she always did my ring fingers shorter than the rest of the nails on my hands. That drove me a bit bananas. I like my pinkies longer. I'm okay with that because my pinkies are significantly shorter. So if they're a little on the longer side, and pinky is not usually a finger we use often, so I'm okay with having longer pinky nails. But a ring finger being shorter, I don't like that because it's so close to my other nails. I don't like it. And I've told her over and over I don't like it, and it didn't matter. When I had competition nails, so again, I have the robotics club and they have competition, wanted flames because they are steel phoenix, so fire, bird of fire. And I said, I want silver and I want flames. She only did flames. And I kept telling her over and over, I had to tell her like 4 times, I want silver. Oh no, next time, next time. Not next time, this time. It's part of the competition nails, you know? And so she did a good job, but I just didn't seem to be getting what I wanted for what I was paying for. And to help support another planner girl, of course, and she's doing nails, I'm like, oh my goodness. And she's in the area. So I had to set up an appointment and see her. She did a fabulous job. And that was another thing. The last time I saw my nail tech, she's like, oh, next time we'll do Halloween nails. And I've told her repeatedly, I like seasonal nails, yes. I don't like holiday nails. Even Halloween, I know this is not the common census in our community, especially YouTube community. I'm not a big Halloween person. And to have Halloween nails on for an entire month, I'm just not about that life. So I had showed her the design that's actually on my nails, and I'm like, this is what I want next time. She's like, oh, next time you come, I do Halloween nails. I don't want Halloween nails. So actually, made the appointment with Shan. Shan is just delightful, guys. She's absolutely delightful. It's always wonderful to support somebody else in the community. It's a great community to be in. Memory planning. I love it. It was nice to have somebody to not only talk nails with, but to talk memory planning. And it was so beautiful to have someone doing my nails that actually speaks English. Like, before, my old nail tech, she spoke a little, but a lot of times all the time I'm like, I'm sorry, because I didn't understand what she was saying. And it was clear that she didn't always understand me, or I feel like I would have what I wanted, what I asked for. So having Shan and having somebody that speaks the same language fully where we can carry on a conversation, oh, it was just so delightful. But more about that later. This week, it was Labor Day week. Not a lot happened this week. Monday was Labor Day. Had, date night on Tuesday. I found a really neat place, or my guy took me to a really neat place. He was aware of it. Robotics team, they were selling cup of noodles for the first time in the cafeteria. So, I had to get all the stuff for that, which is a big production, and I found an easier way to do it. So I don't have to constantly run all over the place to buy the items for them. So that's nice. We had the weigh-in because of the weight loss group. And I started looking at uploading my licensing hours to get my license renewed. My license is going to expire this summer. So again, being a teacher, that's one of those things. And my friend came in town. I think I mentioned when I did my show me your stash video. When I pulled this kit out, I was talking about my friend coming into town from Pennsylvania, which is why I'm using the coffee kit. She did send me that little cute meme that was like, do you want to meet up for coffee? And the person responds, sure, but you spelled wine wrong. So it just seemed very appropriate to use a coffee kit, ironically. I'm allergic to coffee, and like I said, the whole little thing that she sent me was just adorable. But I did meet up with her. She was staying at another friend's house. They had a pool. I've kind of been a fish out of water since I moved in with my guy. I love baths. My guy and my mom used to refer to the bathtub as my waterbed. Because at night I would get in the bathtub, not every night, but at least once a week, maybe sometimes more. I would get in the bathtub in the evening, and I'd always fall asleep in the bathtub. and I would wake up because, the water would get cold or whatever, but I'd be still so sleepy I didn't want to get up. I would just like empty out some of the water, put in some hot water, fall right back out. And, a lot of times I would get up eventually and get into bed, but I would fall asleep in the bathtub at least once a week. And then the apartment complex I was in, we had a pool. It was only 4 foot deep. I like them a little bit deeper, but we lived right across from the community center that has an Olympic sized pool, 7 foot deep. And it's like $3 and you could swim all day if you wanted. So I'm a bit of like my birthday kid mermaid. I love the water. So I've been a little bit of a fish out of water. Don't really have a bathtub here at his place, and he does have a hot tub but no pool. So the hot tub kind of is replacing a bathtub. It's a little different. You can't fall asleep in a hot tub. Doesn't work out so well. But it's nice because it's kind of like a big bathtub for two. So it has its advantages and disadvantages, but there is no pool. So this is the first time in a very long time that I actually got to be in a pool. And after we had dinner, we had steaks. So after we had dinner, just basically swam for hours. And then it was a real late night driving home. I don't think we got home until after 1 o'clock, but it was so much fun to spend time with my friend. And then Saturday, it did rain. And just doing some random stuff over the weekend. It was Sunday was Patriots Day, or September 11th remembrance. So yeah, there's that. So a couple things, because that was basically my week. So a couple things that I was going to chat about. One of the things, it was Labor Day this week. Prior, I worked for a school district. So I've worked for 3 different school districts in 3 different states. Actually, 4 different school districts, 3 different states. Sorry, been teaching too long at this point. I actually was teaching on an emergency certification while I was getting my teaching degree. And nobody really counts it. They don't count it towards my retirement. They don't count it towards my experience. So I guess at this point I kind of stopped counting it, but it is a different school district that I did work for. I did work for them for 2 years. So, yeah, I've worked for 4 different school districts, 3 different states. The school district that I used to work for back in Michigan, they started school after Labor Day. Students would start after Labor Day. Teachers started the week before. They've now changed it. This year, I believe, was the first year that they changed it, and they went back a little bit earlier. I always enjoyed that because we would start on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for our staff development days. And then we had a very long weekend because we'd have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday off. So we had a 5-day weekend. So it was almost like another week. So it was a nice slow start into going back to work. If you're not a teacher, you don't know. I know a lot of people think they have an idea, but you really don't know. You kind of slow down over the summer or get busy in different ways. You don't really have bells, schedules. I know it's all over, whether people realize it or not, but it's like a big joke. Like, oh, it's so nice to go to the bathroom whenever you want and drink hot coffee. Well, clearly I don't drink coffee, but you understand what I'm saying, so it's kind of, you're on your own schedule. You will have a lot of times you take classes or, some type of professional development during the summer. But for the most part, you're kind of on whatever schedule you prefer is what your schedule is on the summer. And going from that to going back into the teaching environment where you have ringing bells and you can't just go to the bathroom no matter how much you want to, you cannot leave your classroom full of students. So even high school, I teach high school and people are like, oh, they'll be fine. No, and I know that some teachers, a lot of teachers are inside the building. They're like, oh, that's why you have your teacher friends. Just leave your door open. They can keep an eye out for your kids. But I'm out in the portables. I'm out in portable classrooms. So even though there are teachers around, it's not like a hallway situation. You can't just prop the door up. So it's not so simple. I do have to get somebody to come out and cover me to go to the bathroom. But you go from being on a really nice leisurely pace to hurry up all the time. Um, so it's, you kind of get thrown into the deep end of the pool, if you will, when school starts back. So, having that 5-day break. So you had 3 days to kind of adjust. You're doing your professional development, your classroom setup, and then to have 5 full days to where you can prepare for your first day with students. You can continue to set up your classroom at your pace. It was just really nice. I really appreciated that slow transition back in to having students. And then on Tuesday, kids would start, and they pick up their schedules, usually have some welcome back, stuff go on. I was going to say nonsense, but a lot of people would argue it's not nonsense, but you do it so often, it's just like, okay, different year, same stuff. And even though they're like, oh, we have to tell them all the new things, it's just, nothing's new anymore. Kind of is COVID virtual. That was way new. But it's like change becomes the normal. So nothing really new with the first days back, but you're not really teaching a full first day. And so then you really only have kids for about 3 days for that first week, and then you get a weekend and then jump into a 5-day week. So I always appreciated that. But when I came to this district, we go back, teachers go back like in the first week of August, and students start in the second week of August. So by Labor Day, we have been back to school for about a month. That I don't like so much. And here, this school district, our professional development days are Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So that means we we kind of like jump into it. Then you have Saturday, Sunday, and then boom, Monday you have kids. And this year they got rid of having them pick up their schedules and going to all their classes for like 20 minutes and homeroom class and all the things. They didn't do that. They jumped right into, hey, get your schedule online. They sent out the emails, get your schedule online, and we jumped into a first full day. So that was a little bit challenging because you went from 0 to 100 real fast. And again, 2-day weekend. So, it's didn't have a lot of recovery and preparation time. But with us going back so early, there's one thing that I absolutely love that this district that I'm at has different than other districts, and I hope that more districts are moving to it. Our kids take final exams before Christmas break. And you wouldn't think that that matters, but when students have 2 weeks to forget everything you taught them, and then you have a week or less to have them remember everything after they've forgotten it all, to take a big exam that is 10 to 20% of their semester grade. That's a lot. That's a lot to put on the kids and the teachers, and it's a lot of recouping time. So a lot of instructional time, I feel, is lost with that. So doing exams before Christmas break is good for the kids, and it's good for teachers. So it's good for the kids because they don't have time to forget. They take their exams right before we go back, or right before we go on break. So they haven't had time to forget yet. It's just like we do the things, and then it's like, hey, some review. Now show me everything you remember from the beginning of school. And then after they're done with exams, they're on Christmas break. Bye. Have a great break. Have a happy new year. See you in January. Yes. So that's always nice for the kids. And then why it's nice for us is we post grades before we leave for Christmas break. So in years past, I'd spend my whole Christmas break trying to prepare how I was going to get my kids to, remember what they needed, how I was going to fit everything in for the exam. I'd be writing their exam. I'd be catching up on grades, altering grades. What do I mean by altering grades? If you're not a teacher, you're like, wait a minute, what do you mean by altering grades? Basically curving. So it's like you look at something and you're like, hey, they didn't do the best on this. So what can I do to help make it fair? So that's what I mean by altering grades, is like just assessing and making it fair, because you have a little bit more time over Christmas, so you have more time to analyze those things. And then also when you're analyzing them, you're like, wait a minute, if they didn't do so good on this, how am I going to make sure that they really get this concept before they take the exam on it? So, Christmas was not a downtime for me by any means. It was just craziness, like 2 weeks of craziness, and I never got that break. So now with us going back so early and them taking their exams before Christmas break, I actually get to take a break on Christmas break. It's kind of nice. I get to relax a little bit. I am planning for the second semester. I'm always analyzing, looking at, well, how did my kids do? How can I do better? So, what can I improve on? How might I help out with engagement? All the things. My brain doesn't stop, especially during the school year. But at least getting ready to start a new semester is a lot easier than trying to figure out how you're going to get them to remember and close out a semester so quickly after coming back from break. So that's always nice. The other thing I wanted to talk about real quick, like I said, it was Patriots Day, remembering September 11th, never forgetting. So I was in college when September 11th happened. Actually, when it happened, I kind of figured it out, like times and what have you. I was in my car on the way to a gas station when it actually happened. I don't really listen to news or pay attention to news. Problems with depression. I find that news makes me more depressed. So I try not to have that, because it's always, sad stories or like scary stories, and I can't live my life that way. So that's why I really don't have news or newspapers around me. Some people disagree with that, but they're like, you have to stay informed. It's like, I don't miss big things. I've been up on all of them. But anyway, so went to college, went to a couple of classes, and one of my professors would always ask us how we're doing, have a conversation in the morning, and one person's response is not good. And then they were like, do you know what's going on? And they told us what was happening, and we were like, whoa, what's going on? People are crashing planes into buildings, like what? And as they had just finished explaining it, other people came by and they're like, they canceled classes. And my professor was telling us, they're like, no, you can't leave. But then other professors told her, no, they've canceled classes for the rest of the day, which was very odd. It's not something that's common to do at the university level. Looks like I'm running out of time. But, yeah, so like I said, Patriots Day, September 11th, never forget. Have a good one. I hope you enjoy. Bye, guys.